Alright guys, I'm going to cover the oil change on the 2019 Renegade Ski-Doo 900 Turbo here. It's the sled we're talking about. Mine happens to be an Adrenaline. I've already removed the side covers off the sled. Makes access to the oil filter a little bit easier, which is sitting right down here. And on the other side, same thing. Panels just pop off. You can remove those easy enough. And that gets access to your fill tube, which is right here, obviously. So first step you need to do is you need to get up underneath the sled. And I'm going to stop the camera now, position everything, get up underneath and show you where that access panel is so we can get that set up to drain the oil. Alright guys, so we're up under the sled here, and I'm going to move this back so you can see this. There's an access panel right here, and there's two Torx bits on it. They're T30s. You can either remove both and slide the cover out and kind of tip it up and tip it out of there, or you can just loosen both bolts, take one completely out and just kind of rotate the cover out of your way, which will give you access to both of the drain plugs. One for obviously for the motor, the other one is off the turbo drain tube. Alright guys, for all intents and purposes here, I'm going to take the cover off just so I can show you what you got. So if you look up in here, you have two screws, Torx screws for both the drain plugs. There's the larger one and there's the smaller one here. Those are the drain plugs you're going to remove. Largest one first, then the small one, let all the oil drain out, and then we'll move to the top side and we'll remove the cover and turn the primary to engage the pump to push the rest of the oil out. Alright, so I'm going to get these bolts off and get this draining, and we'll move on to the next step for you guys. Okay guys, so drain plugs are out. Most of the oil is drained into the container now, which as you can see there's still some coming out of that secondary. So an easy trick to do is to get up on the side over here on the side of the sled, which we're going to do, and rotate this primary, and by doing so that engages the oil pump and will help to get the rest of the oil out of the oil canister where the filter resides, so you don't make a giant mess changing the filter. So let's move up top side here. So there's your primary. You just want to basically turn this back a quarter turn or a full turn, and we're basically just moving this back and forth to engage the pump, to get the pump to engage. By doing so, that'll allow the pump to push the rest of the oil out of the motor. So you can get a full turn on that, maybe 2 or 3 times. That'll help. So alright, so while it's continuing to drain, we're going to come into here. That is the oil canister right there. There's 1, 2, third bolt is in the back corner there. It's hard to see in the light here, but there are 3 bolts. I believe they are 8mm. We're just going to take those out, remove the cover carefully so don't drop into the bolts and hardware into the bottom of this thing, or you will be screwed and yelling at yourself. So be very careful when getting your bolts out of the oil canister here. Okay guys, so cover's off. There's what's left. I did spin the primary a couple more times just to be sure. You are going to have some residual oil up on the top cap, so I'd recommend putting a rag over the top, getting another rag ready, either stuff it around everything or swoop in from underneath with another rag to keep the oil from dripping on everything else in here. So just gonna keep it clean, that's all. So let's get that out of there and we'll continue on. Alright guys, I'm gonna put a flashlight down here so you got. So if you look down the container, you're gonna see most of the oil is out of that. There's some at the bottom. You can go ahead and wipe it out. I mean, the more you wipe out and the more you clean up, the better you're gonna be. Otherwise you're just using some real old oil. So but let's get that cleaned up and get the filter in, and then carefully install the bolts, torque them to spec, and continue on. Alright guys, so the new filter is there. One of the key things I keep seeing on all these videos, and I don't know why people keep not doing it, is you got to make sure you lubricate the seals. It says right in the manual, make sure you either grease or oil the seals, and usually it's oil, right? Clean oil, the oil the seals on the bottom of the oil filter, and you want to oil the seal that's on the cap as well. So when you put this cap on, make sure you pay attention to the O-ring. You don't want to pinch this thing. You're going to have obviously serious problems with oil blow over everywhere. Then the torque specs on this are 10 Newton meters or 89 inch-pounds when you torque this to spec. So make sure you guys are torquing the spec too. So, all right, so let's get this put back on, and we'll move on to the bottom as well. All right, guys. So let's fill the oil filters back in, torque to specs, 10 Newton meters, 89 inch-pounds. So next thing, we're going to move back down to the bottom of the sled and put the drain plugs back into the bottom of the sled so we can do the oil fill. Before you do that, guys, make sure you're putting the O-rings in here. I mean, the metal crush rings, do not try to reuse them. They call specs to use them, put new ones in, so make sure you're using new ones. All right, moving on. All right, guys, so we're on the last step. Obviously, we're gonna pull the oil fill right here. You can see that. The oil fill is actually right here. It's hard to see in the light, so I'm gonna flashlight show you. There it is. I already pulled the dipstick, so the manual calls for 3.5 quarts, so we're gonna put that in now and get it buttoned up and start it up, let it run for a little bit, check the oil, and see if we need to top it off. All right, moving on. Just for reference as well, guys, this is the oil that's going in. It is the recommended XPS SAE 0W40. I found it to be the best. It seems to do everything well, and I mean, when I change the oil, it doesn't look like it's had a lot of wear on the motor, so I'm going to keep running it. But it seems to do well with what they've got, and that's the recommended oil to cover your warranty. So, all right, guys, fill this thing up and keep moving. Well, that's it, guys. That buttons up the job. 3.5 quarts. I let the sled run, you know, sitting in the garage here and running it for like 5 minutes or whatever, just to get it warmed up. Check the exhaust temp. It was getting around 100 and 130, 140 degrees on the header, so should circulate the oil enough. Pull the dipstick, check everything out. Everything's perfect. So 3.5 quarts, and you're on the money. So hope that helps, guys. Remember, keep your torque specs right. You know, you don't want these things going. Obviously, one of the things you want to do is just make sure you don't have any leaks anywhere, and check under the sled and that kind of thing too. So make sure you guys got all your I's dotted and T's crossed, so you can make sure that you guys have a good day on the trail. I'll be feeding you guys more videos as I go on. Probably do a chain case change here too, do the chain case lube, and then show lubing the chassis. So hope the videos help, and stay safe on the trails, guys. Stay right and stay safe. Later.